Do you need a property manager? That's today's episode. Let's dive into it. Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Morris.
And I'm Clayton Morris.
That's Clayton Morris. And this is the Investing in Real Estate show. We are so happy you joined us because today we want to talk about the expense of hiring a property manager. Now, this is something a lot of times I think when people get started, they think, oh, I don't want to spend that. I definitely have been one of those people, and I can tell you horror stories about what happens when you don't. I do want to say, though, this is not something that's for everybody, but we want to help you weigh the options.
Right. So who are we? Well, we are longtime real estate investors. We've done thousands of deals. We own many dozens of rental properties across the country. So we know a thing or two about working with property management teams and also trying to do it yourself. We've heard horror stories from investors who have written to us over the years who have tried to do things on their own. So let's ask that question today. Why should we have a property management company in place? You might be just getting started in real estate investing, so you're looking at buying your first rental property. And I always like to say it's the allure of that first property that gets you kind of moving in this direction where you're like, I'm gonna manage it myself because it seems like it's easy. It's in my backyard.
Yeah.
But what happens when you move to the second property and the third and the fourth and the fifth? Do you keep managing them yourself? No, it doesn't scale that way. And what seems easy with the first one will seem like an absolute full-time job by your fifth property.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, of course, there are people who are going to be good at this. I think of my sister. Her husband is an amazing contractor. He builds big houses out in Boise, Idaho. And so they own a multifamily. I think it's a fourplex. And anything that could go wrong, he can fix in a hot minute, right? And so for them, it's in their backyard. He is a good contractor. And so that's an expense they don't necessarily need, right? But can he collect rents, right? Can he do background checks? So there's like many layers to this kind of thing. Should he be interacting with the tenants? So maybe he's good at like the fix-it part, right? Where they don't have to contract out these kind of things. A lot of times that's where your expenses start to really rack up.
Right.
But then you need like the more legitimate business end of it too. So if you can do both of those things and you have the time and you think that, that's not going to interfere with whatever dream you're pursuing in your regular life, go for it, right? But there's so many facets to good property management that this is something you have to get real with yourself. Now, remember, paying the property manager a lot of times is a nominal expense and it is a business expense.
Right. It is a write-off. So when you look at your return on investment, if you're new to the channel, please check out our episode on ROI. Make sure you watch that so you understand return on investment and exactly figure out the calculation. We show you the math to understand what it should look like. That property management expense is built into your numbers. Okay. So when you're acquiring that property, you're already thinking, or at least we train you to think, that there's going to be a property manager taking care of this for me. And that 8% a month, 10% a month, 12% a month that comes out of the rent that the tenant is paying, that 8, 10, or 12% is going to go to the property management company for doing their job. They've placed the tenant. They've done the background check on the tenant. They want to make sure that the tenant stays a long time. And then, of course, for placing that tenant, they're going to make a little bit of money every month on it. So it's incumbent upon them to want to get a tenant in there and a good tenant.
A lot of times, I'll see these statements from my property manager and say the house is rented for $800 a month and they are taking off their $80, right? That's 10%.
Right.
And I think they were paid $80 to collect the rent. Now, sometimes now tenants have that automated. They go and pay somewhere or they send in something. But if they don't, $80 to drive there, pick up a rent and come back, like that's not that much money, right? And then consider the fact that they deposit it, they send me the check, they send me a statement. And then if something does go wrong, they've got to answer a phone call, figure out who to send there for something. Like we had one of our tenants yesterday said that one of her backyard door looks like an animal came in and out. Like some big, like rodent of unusual size had come through the door and then come back out. And she doesn't have pets. And she's like, I don't know what the heck just happened. Now, if I had no property manager, And I had to get that call and solve it. I do not know what, like, hire a mega exterminator. I don't know what I would do, right? But she knows what to do. She's going to charge me for it, clearly. But I was like, okay, thanks for solving that.
Well, what I want to know is how did you even find out about this? Was this an expense? See, most of the time with a property management team, they will have a threshold of things like I call it like the don't call me number, which is like, it's $200. If it's less than $200, don't call me about it. I don't want to hear about the toilet you had to fix. I don't want to hear about the ceiling fan blade that needed repair. If it's under $200, just bill me for it.
I think this one, she just didn't know how much it would cost, and it was so unusual. This package of properties, we have the weirdest stories. If you've heard the episode we did about the cat in the ductwork, that like somehow escaped alive and continued its 9 lives somewhere else. That's the kind of thing that, and this is like an urban New Jersey town. I don't know why that's all the like weird things that happen.
Maybe it was Bigfoot. Maybe it was Bigfoot. Don't know.
Oh yeah, like that episode of Finding Bigfoot where they saw the handprint. Yeah. If you haven't seen that,
watch Animal Planet. Yeah, check out Animal Planet. Finding Bigfoot. I think it's on Animal Planet. That's so good. Anyway, so these are the kinds of things that a property management company will take care of for you, and they won't probably necessarily give you a call, when something like this actually happens.
I mean, an email is no big deal. She didn't call me, right? But if it was the tenant, it would have been a more immediate need, and she would have had to call me, and then I would have had to solve that. And these are just things that I don't know how to solve because we invest all over the country. So sometimes I'm like, well, do you want, I had a property in San Francisco that I did not have a property manager on. And so they would call me and I would either get my brother-in-law that I just talked about to go and like fix the garbage disposal, which I felt awful about. And then he wouldn't take payment. So I paid him in like Ruth Chris gift cards.
Steakhouse gift cards.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go about it, right? And then if it was something more immediate, like I need a rotor-rooter, I'm like, okay, I can give you the number, but you got to call him yourself. And then I will take that off your rent. Like that's a pain. It's messy. That's not a good way to go about it.
And let's go 40,000 foot level and think about this. What kind of a life do you want to live? Okay, if you're creating financial freedom for yourself, right? If you are taking the steps in your life to create passive income so you can enjoy more of what life has to offer with your family and travel, do you want to create another job for yourself?
Right, by rotor-rooter.
Right, by finding out what this weird rodent was that came in the back door of one of your rental properties? No. You have a dedicated team that can handle it. Otherwise, you're in small business. You are a self-employed small business owner. If you are every day answering phone calls and dealing with this kind of stuff, you do not run a business, okay? You are not an investor. You are in that...
You're an employee of your business.
You're an employee of your business. Get out of being an employee of your business. All right, that's today's episode. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button too, a little thumbs up. Lets us know that you like and appreciate everything that we do here on the channel. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
We'll see you next time.
I thought maybe I'd make another point, but I guess I'm done. He cut me off. Okay.
All right.
I'll be done then. We'll talk to you again on this same podcast.